हेलो, नमस्ते एंड वेलकम टू रविवार विचार। मेरा नाम ऋषिका जोशी है। आपने एक्सपीडिशंस के बारे में सुना होगा, जंगल सफारीज के बारे में सुना होगा, ट्रेकिंग्स के बारे में सुना होगा, लेकिन कभी आपने ये सुना है कि ये ऑल वुमेन ट्रेकिंग है? ऑल वुमेन ट्रेकिंग करवाती है एक महिला जो चलाती है जंगल पेल्स। उनका नाम है हिमांगी वर्तक एंड लेट्स स्टार्ट द कॉन्वर्सेशन विद हर। उनकी पूरी जर्नी के बारे में जानते हैं। सिर्फ जंगल पेल्स ही नहीं, वो और भी बहुत सारी चीजें कर रही हैं, तो उनकी पूरी जर्नी के बारे में जानते हैं। विदाउट वेस्टिंग एनी टाइम, लेट्स जस्ट स्टार्ट द इंटरव्यू। हेलो हिमांगी, हाउ आर यू?
Hi, Rishka. I'm absolutely fine. Right now in an urban forest, but I'm missing going to the forest right now since it's the off season.
सो हिमांगी, ये बहुत एक्सक्लूसिव कॉन्सेप्ट है, ऑल
Right.
वुमेन ट्रिप्स का। तो ये आपको आइडिया कैसे आया? आपको ऐसा क्या दिमाग में आया कि ऑल वुमेन ट्रिप्स चालू करनी चाहिए?
So I've been going on to the forest for quite some time now. Since 2010, I've been going to the forest, and it's a beautiful experience actually. So we used to come back. I mean, I and my partner, late partner Aarti. So we used to come back and put up some photos and stories about how we have gone to the forest and everything. And from there, our family and folks used to ask us, is it looks so beautiful? Is it safer to go to the forest? How can we travel, etc., etc. So they got very fascinated about these things. Typically, all our friends community, like women who are associated with us. So at that point of time, then we thought, why not curate something only for women? Because there were already companies catering to mixed groups, taking them to wildlife and safaris. So why not do exclusively for women so they get a comfort feeling traveling with us. Also, their families are more comfortable, sending with only women per se, and they themselves are also they'll feel nicer when they travel with all other women also.
Yeah.
So this is how the concept, came into our minds, and we kind of launched Jungle Bells in 2019. It was pre-COVID, but 6 months, 7 months post that, COVID hit. So excursions came to a halt for 2 years, but then again we started post COVID also.
Was there any personal experience that you had जिसके रीजन से आपने सोचा कि आई हैव टू स्टार्ट दिस थिंग? कोई पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस था आपका ऐसा?
Correct. So while traveling to the forest, there's always one thing that I would like to tell people that A is you get very exclusive time for yourself. उधर वो phone screen time वगैरह work नहीं करते. The network is not that great, and there are no other attractions like you go and then you have a swimming pool and then you have to swim. No, you just are into nature and you're enjoying the entire the entire time being in nature. So the me time plus the feeling of being really क्या बोलते हैं, unwinding in nature happens. So that happened with me also. So experience as in I just felt every time I got a recharge kind of मोबाइल में कैसे रिचार्ज करते हैं, सो वैसे उधर जाके आने के बाद आई यूज टू फील अ रिचार्ज इन माई सेल्फ टू do my normal chores on a daily basis properly. So I got rejuvenated every time I came back, and that gave me motivation to work here also. So I thought, why not, tell other people that it is completely, at their discretion. Sorry. So basically, going to forest is another thing, but going around itself near our city, visiting other biodiversity spots, so they give us a stress-free environment to come and get back to our daily routines. So ये experience था मेरा कि बहुत ही I used to feel really happy and energized within, which made me start this, and also I thought I'll propagate this to other people.
दिस थिंग विच यू सेड दैट नेचर रिचार्जेस यू, एक अलग किस्म का एनर्जी आ जाता है व्हेन यू
Right.
विजिट नेचर। हिमांगी, ऑल वुमेन ट्रिप्स, all women. So this is, as I said, this is a really interesting thought, intriguing thought for me also and everyone. Do you still feel that इस फील्ड में, इस पूरे एरिया में जो आप कवर करते हैं, उसमें
Yeah.
अभी भी फीमेल इंटरवेंशन कम है, और ज्यादा रिक्वायरमेंट है फीमेल्स की? डू यू फील लाइक दैट?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it is I'm like any other industry also, or where women work. This is also slowly progressing, but it's quite challenging also to work because you're working outdoors. You know, there are a lot of women who work in conservation, who work in awareness, who are there as wildlife photographers. You know, working in that field, but it takes a lot of efforts, as in terms of you're completely exposed into the nature, you're almost traveling for quite a bit, you're leaving your family and folks behind, so it's a challenging thing. And I feel, but we are slowly growing in numbers, a lot of women who are doing good work in this field, plus taking other photographers, or people who are interested, they themselves are conducting individual workshops in photography, wildlife. So lot is happening. There's awareness, but है challenging है. So slowly, with the kind of responsibilities that we have coming out of it and doing all this, it's going to take time, but it's slowly progressing.
या धीरे धीरे ही सही बट हो रहा है, दैट इज द बॉटम लाइन.
Yes, correct,
या
correct.
कैन यू शेयर अ स्टोरी, आपका पर्सनल स्टोरी अगर आप एक शेयर कर पाए जिसमें, बिकॉज यू नो जंगल बेल्स के जो भी आपके एक्सपीडिशंस होते हैं, इसमें ऐसी कोई स्टोरी रही है आपके साथ जो आपके बहुत बहुत पसंद हो आपको, एंड यू फील कि यार दिस इज
Yeah.
समथिंग व्हिच दिस इज व्हाई वी स्टार्टेड दिस trips and all.
So there are a lot of experiences when we take women to forest. They, as I told you, they get their me time, so they're completely, off the screens, off the mobiles. They're not connected most of the times with their regular routines. So that time they start realizing, talking, chatting, coming out of their, comfort zones in terms of a lot of other topics other than what we talk on a daily basis. And they started interacting when we used to go. So see, we take into smaller, there are a lot of biodiversity spots in and around Pune. So there are smaller excursions wherein women cannot, really spend 2 3 days. Then you just half a day excursions are there, couple of hours you go to a takery and come. There's a nature trail. So I used to feel, looking at that, the woman used to tell me, "Arey, first time, we stepped on a grassland." So when we used to go to a grassland without shoes, I walked first time. Or first time I was sitting next to a river, stream flowing, and enjoying that kind of a this thing. So these all kind of things made me really realize that they need all this, coming from a very high stressful backgrounds. Plus, they were from different. A lot of women travel solo because their families might not be liking this. They do no, they do not be sharing the similar liking for the forest and wildlife. So they used to come on their own, and they gelled culturally also, but they had the similar liking of wildlife. So they stuck even from different backgrounds. So these kind of experiences really made me think, get into that thing that, yeah, this is working. It's a slow and steady pace, because we have to, women it comes with a lot of DNA of, responsibilities in her. So to coming out, but it will obviously work and work in the long run.
Mhm.
So these smaller experiences, are really close to my heart. Like, they're enjoying every bit of the forest, or when you see a tiger in a tiger safari, you're going, and the kind of expressions they have, or they want to see more of it, they want to enjoy the jungle, they want to come back. It's not like a one-off trip, but they want to revisit the forest,
Hmm.
or also as a part do something for the forest. In the sense, they come back, can we do something, can we help those people, who are working there? So smaller things that they get connected with.
Hmm.
So these all things really mattered, and these are experiences, were very close to my heart. I still get a lot of them, but something like these, which I mentioned right now, really changed it.
As when we had a conversation, you told me that you are, managing lots of things together. For
Correct.
example, this Jungle Bells, uske baad Gifts Galore, Wishify. So how are you managing
Yeah.
all these three different, diverse creative fields? कैसे manage होता है ये सब?
Correct. So there are two things. Okay, the common connect in all of my ventures that I do. Basically, there are two of them. One is Gives Galore and Jungle Bells. So Gives Galore has a Wishify venture where we wish stakeholders on their birthdays, and Jungle Bells is something that we connect with the nature. So both have a connection common this thing. So for me, that is a driving factor in both these things because they're service related. So that's what it's easier to manage both of them because they are equal to the base grounding of a connection with people or with nature. So
Hmm.
that's something very similar. Another thing I thought, like you said, that we are used to managing a lot of things, so we are used to multitasking. So I feel a little bit of organizing things really helps in a long way.
Hmm.
Plus, putting your processes, in place and things in place, it's easier to manage. Though sometimes it really becomes challenging with the home, and I travel quite a bit, so it does. It's challenging thing. But Jungle Bells gives me that, because I'm in nature again. You get
Yeah.
recharge, like I
Yeah.
said. So it gives a different kind of energy to work with. So then it's now kind of simplified because still it has its ups and downs, as I said, but it's kind of settled now. So it's easier to manage.
Yeah. You also told me that you had, worked for telecom also.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So telecoms से now these tours and all. So ये एक shift बहुत
Yes.
बड़ा shift है because that is एकदम typical corporate job and this
Yeah.
is somewhat a job but people love to travel and everyone loves to travel. तो ये जो shift था तो इसमें आपको सबसे ज्यादा changes किन चीजों में देखने पड़े?
So when I was working in corporate background with Vodafone and Airtel, that time I had quit obviously for my daughters who were very very young at that point of time, and then I started Gives Galore. But the passion factor, I always say that you can find your passion at any age,
Hmm.
or any time in your life. So for me, that passion was wildlife. So I found it in much later years, but still I pursued it and I took it ahead. So कॉर्पोरेट से ये ट्रैवल का ये it's like a 360 degrees. And from my family background, what I come, uh, from which family background I come, no one has ever held a camera, or no one has even known a W of wildlife, or they've not gone to any tiger reserve. So it was completely for all of us, or for my family, it was quite a different this thing. But
Hmm.
as I said, that I always give this message to a lot of people saying that you will find your passion, and pursuing and taking it ahead. Anything it can be, it can be learning a music instrument, or singing, or painting. But if you want to pursue it, you should just hold on to it, because not necessarily you want to convert it into a business venture, but for your own sake, it
Hmm.
becomes a kind of a stress-free or a hobby to pursue. And in this age, I think it is very, very important. So for me, because of that passion, I could come out of that corporate life, though I used to enjoy that time also, and pursue this kind of passion, travel and wildlife. So it was, though it's completely different, but I enjoy both the things, and I do enjoy what I'm doing right now equally.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it is said that अगर किसी को business में जाना हो, so they should work इन कॉर्पोरेट या फिर जॉब करनी चाहिए उनको फॉर 2-3 years.
Yeah,
इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर अदर उनको समझ आती है चीजें बहुत सारी. सो
correct.
ये चीज आपके साथ भी हुई बिकॉज यू ऑल्सो फर्स्ट डिड द कॉर्पोरेट जॉब एंड देन शिफ्टेड टू बिजनेस एंड ऑल्दो इट वॉज योर पैशन बट स्टिल बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं जो मैनेज करनी होती हैं. सो डिड यू
Right.
स्टिल रिमेम्बर दोज थिंग्स द टाइम व्हेन यू वर इन कॉर्पोरेट? वो टाइम आपको कुछ अभी भी चीजें सिखाता है? आपके इस जर्नी को शेप कर रहा है वो टाइम अभी भी?
Of course, it's a lot to learn when you're, working in corporates also. They have an extremely discipline in terms of maybe time, or turnaround times to your customers, how you're reverting to them, or how, because if you're in a service industry, it's very, very crucial that you revert to a lot of people. Communication is something which has been taught to me by working in at Vodafone and Airtel, because it's very, very important that you revert back.
Hmm.
So A is discipline, B is communication, which is still helping me right now, and C is organizing things, because there it had taught me that when you're going every day morning, you put jot down your tasks, see that you've completed by the end of the day, or whatever. So it helps me here also when I come to office, or I'm at home also, or when I travel. I always have a few things noted on my notepad or in my diary, so to complete. So writing things down, makes a lot of difference, which has taught me which is, I take it from my earlier companies where I have worked. So, starting your own venture later, or you doing just for your own self, or you working along with someone else for a smaller setup also. These all things, they are good takeaways when you're working in corporates. So this has taught, these three things are the highlights which really taught me, really were important at Vodafone and Airtel.
इमांगी क्वेश्चन है मेरा जो यूजुअली आजकल आपको भी सुनने को मिलता होगा दैट इफ समवन सेज कि वी आर अ फेमिनिस्ट तो बड़ा ही
Yeah,
नेगेटिव जाता है उन तक कि यार फेमिनिस्ट क्या व्हाट इज फेमिनिज्म फेमिनिज्म इज रूइनिंग आवर कल्चर दीज डेज ये स्टेटमेंट बड़ा सुनने को मिलता है मुझे तो व्हाट डू यू थिंक कि जंगल फर्स्ट कि डू यू थिंक कि फेमिनिज्म इज लिटरली demoralizing or ruining women's life these days? And second, do you feel that Jungle Bells is a feminist statement that you are raising?
so I would like to definitely. This is a very good question. Okay, so when I'm a lot of times I'm asked by a lot of people, unknown, known acquaintances, families, that why did you choose to take only women? Why is this gender bias? Why don't you take mixed groups? So I feel it's not about feminism. It's about more so being having that comfort to be around another women. So it's a matter of that more rather than a feminism kind of a thing, because I feel the male dominance is in there in every field. So but we also deserve an opportunity at least to scale up or have a level to at which what they are right now. So these levels we can only create, between our community. Like a woman can help a woman out by raising her to that level. So I felt that this would help us more, uh, sticking to women groups, plus and then giving them the right kind of opportunity to come up in their own this thing and travel at par at men. So I think we are not making a feminist statement, but certainly we are giving a choice for gender, and we are sticking to it, to that niche still. I would like to clarify here that we also do children awareness wildlife programs. So it's just not now women; it's also wildlife awareness for children, because we feel a woman can pass on the legacy to the children, and generally the kids look up to their mother what they're doing. So I feel in a lot of ways, if we help the women to come up in all ways, we would be helping the children also subtly in that manner to have that liking for something. So here for wildlife, we decided that we'll stick to women and just get them along and get them exposed to wildlife other than men.
When you said that women, you take women, and some women you take to these trips, they have not even
Correct.
stepped out of their homes, and
Correct.
कभी भी जमीन के ऊपर घास पर बिना जूतों के बिना स्लिपर्स के सैंडल्स के नहीं चले हैं वो सो
Correct.
उनके लाइफ में आपको क्या चेंज देखने को मिलता है व्हेन यू टेक देम बिकॉज यू वॉच देयर लाइव्स वेरी क्लोजली इन
Right.
दोज डेज
Right.
तो
Right.
आपको उनके लाइफ में क्या चेंज देखने को मिलता है कंपेयर टू द डेज जब वो आपसे कनेक्ट करते हैं फॉर दीज ट्रिप्स
So we have a lot of women who are there are two, three categories. One are homemakers completely. Maybe they are financially not independent. They're dependent on their husbands to give, a money kind of a backup to for these kind of trips. Other women are those IT related or working women that we call typically. Those who are financially independent and would take their own decisions and as in terms of spending, etc. And third thing is a retired, typically the bank employees, or after 58, 60 retirement hota hai, and then they are empty nesters, or their children are settled, so they have lots of time on hand. So there, so if I take the category of retired, suppose, so they come with us for the trips, and I realize that they get a sense of freedom, because now they have found a purpose to spend a little time with, because maybe they click photos, then they go back, then they work on the photos wildlife case, so unka time hi jata hai. So they tell me now we are more occupied, as in terms of sudden wo emptiness rehta hai because job बंद हुआ है और the children are settled or things like that, but they get this time, or this involvement into something that they like. So this is the kind typically we see the change. IT people definitely is a stress buster, so वो Saturday Sunday भी हम हमारे साथ आ जाते हैं. All working people, they get back with another set of energy to get back to their work. So उनको दो financially independent रहते हैं, time is a crunch this thing, but they manage somehow for the shorter trips or things like that. So they say that they manage work more effectively going back because they feel better. So that is a kind of shift that they feel in terms of what they experience after going back.
Hmm.
And typical homemakers are those people wherein they have a sense of feeling that they've done something for themselves. अदरवाइज जनरली वो रहता है कि वर्किंग का कुछ तो भी पर्पस रहता है और थिंग्स लाइक दैट. बट अ होम मेकर दो द दैट जॉब इज आल्सो वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बट दे डोंट फील that kind of important person in anyone's life. So udhar value aa jata hai unko. So they've done something, that they've gone into nature, they feel nicer coming back. So they have also spent a couple of hours with other like-minded women, so they get to make more friends per se. So ऐसा सब कुछ उनमें change आ जाता है. So lot of we get to see a lot of array of different variety of women who travel and get benefited from these kind of trips.
What do you think?
Yeah.
सोलो ट्रिप्स कितने इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं खासकर एक लड़की की लाइफ में?
बहुत ही ज्यादा important है because I'll tell you something that I felt that you are not comfortable once you're out of your comfort zone. Okay, you start exploring and experiencing a array of other things which are challenges also, and that how you can manage. The solo trips में क्या रहता है, if you're traveling alone or with a group but solo again, so उसमें you have to deal with a lot of things on your own. So no one wants to come out of their comfort zone. Everyone wants to be there and do things that way. But I feel solo trips में you become yourself. जैसे आप you put the right point, your perspective changes to the world. You become more confident. I feel you know how to handle yourself better in a lot of other situations that come in life. So solo trips are, I think, extremely good. I take one every year for myself and experience wherever. So it's not necessarily with the groups, but I would love to take off to a destination which I've not been earlier, and I do go alone. So there are a lot of other friends of mine whom I know also take solo trips on their own. But it is very, very important. And you need to be comfortable with yourself sometimes because you're always, but typically a woman, I think you're always taking care of kids, your husband, your mother, father, your friends, and all come. But you're not, so if you're giving time with yourself, uh, how will you handle it? Because you're there, you're completely with yourself, right? No one knows that. So sometimes that's a very scary thing. I've gone through that. So airports पे भी आप रुके हैं तो आप खुद के साथ ही हो. You don't know anyone. That's how do you spend time? I started reading there, or I started writing
Yeah.
my blogs there. So you find out avenues because you get ample of time with yourself. So there's
Yes.
lot you can do, so which you don't know. So I think it explores that side of your personality also in the solo trips. So I think people should definitely take whenever they do get a chance.
Hemangi, you just said that there are lots of awareness programs also that Jungle Bells take for children. तो what do you think कि यंग माइंड्स जो हैं वो इस चीज में किस तरीके से और अपना एफर्ट्स डाल सकते हैं या किस तरीके से इसमें अपने एफर्ट्स दे सकते हैं जिससे चीजें चेंज हो?
So we do a lot of school awareness programs right now in terms of wildlife, and we hold sessions in schools wherein we though see everyone has not been to a jungle or a forest, so we tell them sitting in urban cities or sitting here in your place, what can you do for the forest. So we let them know that a, you can spread more awareness, b, you can plant more trees here itself because you're already this thing. Then the news that comes in the media about man animal conflicts, like leopards coming in the city areas, so a lot of negative goes out, and the children also hear, because now they are more on social media or things like that. So you make them aware that this is not the truth. Everything that comes in a media, that has to have another side. What is
Hmm.
the truth, and actually come to know, because maybe there's a wrong fake news or someone has just gone ahead and said something. So awareness is the key here. So this also, they develop a liking to go to the forest. So I think they can tell their parents that humko bhi leke jao. So apart from having a maybe a Goa holiday, you can have a Pench and Tadoba holiday
हाँ.
also. So there also you support tourism and the livelihood. A lot of people who work for the forest. So going more, वो awareness बढ़ जाता है, और you support their livelihood. So this is what the children, and they're the future, of course. So if
हाँ.
they will grow up to having liking for this, I'm sure it will help the nature in a big way. And obviously the young people who are pursuing environment degrees, or undergrad, they're pursuing these kind of subjects, they're doing research in a lot of things, it's going to help the wildlife in some or the other way. So I know a couple of them who are taking environment and wildlife as their undergrad and undergraduation subjects basically. So it would definitely, or they can volunteer in a lot of wildlife related programs if they are interested, and support these kind of activities. So obviously, sitting here, you can do so many things. You needn't have to go there only and work with the forest department, but remotely you can do a lot of things. So that's why we keep on having these awareness sessions, and we keep on encouraging them to join in any which way they can.
As you are, traveling and तो वो थोड़ा सा you also have that I've seen lots of your photos of
Yes.
wildlife आप capture करते हो तो you are also a budding photographer I can say. So what is about that? I mean आप उसके पीछे का आपका क्या thought होता है? You just doing it for fun या फिर आप उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा explain कीजिए कि आपका वो wildlife photography का दिमाग में आपके कैसे आया?
So once I started going to wildlife, then we started. I mean, we used to think. I mean, my friend RP and I used to think, why not click nice photos and use it for our venture also. So that's how the camera concept came in. Then
Okay.
slowly, I travel with a lot of groups who do not have cameras, maybe a good
Hmm.
DSLR, or to capture. So a lot
Hmm.
of parks do not allow usage of phones inside, like a Tadoba
Okay.
typical would not allow mobiles to be used inside the park. So then I used to click photos for those people and share it with them as memories. So for me, uh, photos are a way of telling a story,
Hmm.
or using it for a cause. Like we use a lot of photos for our school awareness programs. We use photos for putting up facts. So those kind of photos I do click. I love to tell a story behind it rather than just working on the photos and displaying. So my all photos always have some captions or a message given, or what I put on my status. It always tells something about this thing that people should know.
Hmm.
So for me, wildlife photography was something which is, it talks about some incident, it tells you a story, something like that, rather than just showcasing your photos. So that's
Hmm.
how, I started clicking photos for these kind of varied reasons.
You told that some of these wildlife sanctuaries they don't allow phone because of the radiation
Yes.
that causes.
No. So there have been instances, something that I always keep on talking is responsible tourism.
Hmm.
So anywhere we go, uh, we should follow the ethics of that place, or being a good responsible tourist. So suppose litter is something that we also follow in the park. So do not
Yeah.
litter around. Do not make the place dirty. Or when you're in safaris, you should not be talking much. Kind of clothes you wear should be with in sync with the nature. You can't wear an pink and fluorescent pinks and oranges in the
हाँ.
park. So
हाँ.
you wherever you're going, be somewhat like this. You needn't buy new clothes, but definitely this. So there have been instances wherein people have taken selfies with tigers. So there's a tiger there, and in the gypsy, they have turned around and taken selfies. So this might cause accidents. That's what the authorities felt, that
This
because to click, so we know how much we are going towards clicking selfies
taking
and everything.
selfies
So
या
similar.
हाँ एडवेंचर
Yeah,
के
so
नाम पे.
these adventure, so ये करना नहीं है, इसीलिए बैन किए हैं phones. and then वो viral कर देते हैं, they make it viral, that gives a very wrong message.
आई हैव सीन अ वीडियो जहाँ पे एक टाइगर अटैक्ड अ मैन, जो उस पे आई थिंक
Yes,
थाईलैंड का वो
yeah,
वीडियो था, जिसमें
Thailand
पर
country.
हाँ उसके साथ वो सेल्फी फोटो ले रहा था. सो द अदर
Right.
पर्सपेक्टिव टू दीज थिंग्स आर लाइक कि उनको कितना टॉर्चर किया जा रहा है. एंड
Absolutely.
व्हाट इज योर टेक ऑन दिस, बिकॉज दिस इज ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड उस टाइम पे उस एनिमल को गलत बोल दिया जाता है कि इन लोगों को ऐसा ट्रीटमेंट एंड ये
Correct.
बहुत उनके साइड पे चला जाता है पूरा का पूरा क्राउड, जो भी सारा आप बोलते हैं. बट आई थिंक द आपको आपको क्या लगता है इस चीज के बारे में कि ये जो अथॉरिटीज होती हैं जो इनको संभाल रही हैं, आई थिंक ये उन लोगों की भी गलती है, हिमांगी?
So thoda, it's all, so the responsibility, like you said, goes with the whoever the authority is handling this. Plus, as I told you just the point before of responsible tourism,
या.
and why awareness is very, very important.
यस.
So maybe going to that park, you can give a debrief before getting inside that don't do this and don't do that.
हम्म.
Plus, I mean, tourists are need to be educated,
हाँ.
and the authority should take stricter action in this. That if you do this, then you will get penalized.
हम्म.
But if you're going to keep the tiger cub, hungry for so many days, and then you're going to go and feed with the milk there, obviously it's going to run to you, and then you
या.
click pictures. This is all for photos. So this is not a nice thing. If you think if it happens the other way around, how will you feel? So it's not like they have also, I don't know. That's what I always keep place myself in that animal.
हाँ.
Maybe it's a dog or a cat or whatever it
हाँ.
is. So I feel this is what happens. So authorities should also take a stricter action, and creating awareness and educating the tourists while entering parks or these kind of places should be very, very important.
Lots and lots of conversation about animals and traveling and everything.
Yeah.
What do you feel कि आपका spirit animal, आप किससे सबसे ज्यादा connected feel करते हैं, वो कौन सा animal है?
I think all my friends and family knows now. Himangi kya bolegi, this thing is. So I feel, I very strongly connect, or I have that connection with a tigress, or if you say a tiger. It's not because he's just charismatic, or he looks amazing, or he's a royal, this thing. But jo uske characteristics hai, uh, he's a solitary, this thing, but he does everything by himself. They do not require any kind of dependence. So he teaches us to be, solitary, doing things on your own, basically. Survival skills, instincts, everyone has, but, the kind of life he leads, the tigress also leads. I mean, protecting the cubs, training, hunting, it's a similar way, but also distancing herself after the cubs are 2.5 years old to manage on their own. So this kind of, maybe you can say behavioral things is also very, very, important. Also, they are very unperturbed by a lot of other animals. Other animals are distracted, they get immediately, like we say that it affects them. But
हाँ.
tiger ko jaise bolte hai that maybe nothing really affects them unless and until it's into the deep. So I kind of resonate, or I would like to take on those kind of few characteristics, and learn from a tiger who always, because it's, see, also hunting, if I have to tell you, if they try 15, 20 times, they get to hunt or catch the kill once. So they keep on trying. So it's not easy for them also. But this also gives them this thing that, the tiger or the tigress needs to keep trying. So for you also, as a human being, what I learned from them is you have to keep on trying. It's not like, you've not succeeded in the first attempt, so you will not. So there are a lot of qualities that we learn from the tiger. So I kind of, like to associate or resonate with that kind of attitude.
बहुत सारा पॉजिटिव साइड तो होता ही है, बट वाइल्ड लाइफ से एक जो चीज बहुत ज्यादा सामने आती है, दैट इज डर. लाइक अगर
Yeah.
कोई भी बोलेगा दैट लायन और टाइगर अगर आपको दिख रहा है, तो वो पहला थॉट होता है डर. सो आप
Yeah.
कभी ऐसे डरे हैं आपके किसी ट्रिप के ऊपर, एंड यू लाइक कि दिस वाज द मोस्ट स्कैरिएस्ट कन्फ्रंटेशन ऑफ योर्स विद द वाइल्ड लाइफ, ऐसा कुछ हुआ है कभी?
Correct. So here I would like, definitely there's an experience, but before that I would definitely like to say that unless and until you do something to the animal won't do anything back to you. So he is more scared of you than you are. So people say, कि अरे वो open gypsies में जाते हो, you get go in the parks in open gypsies, or isn't it isn't it safe? I mean, not
Yeah.
safe for that matter. So doesn't the tiger attack sometimes? So as I said, unless and until for anything like this thing, you initiate something, then the animal will respond that way. But if you do not, and there are certain ethics that you don't get down the gypsy, you do not walk, you don't go near them, you do not put your hands out. So there are a lot of other things that you abide by. So generally, these kind of incidents, but yes, definitely tiger is scary in terms of it's a huge animal. It has got might. It's a mighty animal. It has got power. So it
Hmm.
can definitely, one वो ऐसे झपक लेगा तो you're done in life.
Yes.
So I would like to talk about a certain incident in Panna National Park. It's located in Madhya
Madhya
Pradesh near
Pradesh.
Khajuraho.
Yes.
Yeah, so I had just been there a couple of months back, and we have a boat safari there, wherein you sit in the boat and you go on. There's a Ken River, very Karnavati it's called.
हाँ जी.
It's a Ken River there, and then you go in the boat safari in that river, and then you get to experience the wildlife whichever you can see from the boat, not necessarily the tiger. So that the day in the morning, we went on a boat safari, and we were very lucky to spot a tiger, and she was resting in water. Her only neck was, kind of outside, and she was aram say, cooling herself off in summers in water.
Hmm.
So the boatman got the boat a little closer because fellows in my boat wanted to take a picture of her.
Hmm.
So we went a little bit close, and he turned off the boat because the boat became still there instead of being a wobbly to click pictures. The boat was still. She somewhat thought that we were stationed in one place, maybe
हाँ.
to. She felt threatened by all that.
हाँ.
So she got up from that water. Thankfully, it was, we were at little bit far off distance, so she could not reach us. But we had her coming towards us in a mock charge kind of a way. And she, kind of said, just lay back. I mean, do
हाँ.
not
Back off.
disturb me, do not come near, back off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was a kind of very scary moment up in these 15 years that, it gave me goosebumps. It's a tiger mock charging also on you, or elephants for that matter, if they're in a herd. And if you are, typically this happens in, Corbett, or,
हाँ.
we have experienced this once in Corbett. So
हाँ.
if you turn off the gypsy and you're standing, the elephant might be come, it might attack the gypsy. It might come running towards you. That is very, very scary. So
हाँ.
you need to be in your own boundaries, and not interfere in theirs. So that all limits are there. So in
Yeah.
humans also, once you cross any limits, then there is an issue.
हाँ.
So similarly in the animals also. So couple of these, once in Corbett and once in Panna, I had these kind of experiences. But that is kind which also teaches us not to mess up with any kind of these kind of boundaries. So be in your own set of limits. That is it.
Do you ever had such a close encounter with an animal जिसके साथ भी आपका हुआ हो, जिसने आपको एक होता है ना कि हमको जब हम नॉर्मल रहता है ना सब कुछ, तो हमें अपनी लाइफ की और चीजों की उतनी वैल्यू नहीं होती है. व्हेन
Yeah.
व्हेन
Yeah.
वी फेस समथिंग नियर डेथ एक्सपीरियंसेस या फिर ऐसा क्लोज एनकाउंटर हमारा हो जाता है, देन वी अंडरस्टैंड कि यार व्हाट वी हैव इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, एंड ये सारी चीजें मटेरियलिस्टिक है. द होल बॉडी इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट. सो आपके साथ ऐसा कभी हुआ है दैट यू हैड सच एन एनकाउंटर विद एन एनिमल जिसने आपको बहुत हम्बल कर दिया हो, एकदम डीप आपको.
Correct. Correct.
या.
So this was incident from Tadoba basically, and I was on a safari, which is like a full day safari. You enter the park in the morning, and you only exit in the evening. So you have you can book a full day one rather than going morning and evening. Generally, the timings are you enter the park in the morning, you come out in the mid morning time.
Hmm.
Then you go again in the afternoon, and you come in the evening. So वैसा इसमें morning to evening you can be inside the park only. It's called a full day safari. So उस time पे we were somewhat at 7:15. We were supposed to exit the park, and वो exit करते वक्त the entire day we had not spotted a tiger per se. So people with me were really like disheartened because everyone wants to see a tiger. So वो थोड़ा सा disheartened हो गए थे. बाद में वो जाते समय दूर से we saw one uh, animal walking towards us. So
हाँ.
we could not spot him because the lights were, really, it had gone down the light in every which way. And gypsy ke lights, when they were on in the evening, that time we saw that it was a tiger. So वो patience का, बहुत सारा उसको ढूंढा पर वो मिला नहीं था दिन भर. So at the end we got, and then something happened that it kept on walking on our gypsy for almost like 2.5 kilometers, you can say. Because see, tiger is a very habit person. So I forgot to tell you. You said no. How do you resonate? Because I'm also a very person of habits. So it will walk only one path, one direction every day. So it will not change its path. It has some road is there, like you have to walk from A to B point. It will take that road every day. So if you have to
Okay.
spot a tiger, it becomes easier. That because you get to see him there on that road almost every day or one of this thing.
हाँ, very often.
So very often. So it was his road, his way of walking, and we
Okay.
were in between
Between,
his way. But yeah. So we kept on walking. He kept on walking, and we kept on, reversing the vehicle to some
हाँ.
point where we thought, "Abhi kya karenge?" Because we had to exit. The exit time had also was very close,
Hmm.
to exit the park, and he was not moving because we could not take the gypsy from either side. He was right in the middle. So it just left us saying that we just gave up. We couldn't do anything unless and until he moves out of the way,
Hmm.
which we can't disturb the wildlife. So we just kept on reversing the vehicle till the end. Wherein at one point of time, then kind of a chaurasta, what we call, it's a kind of a chalk. Then he moved to a side, and then we could go. So these kind of experiences really teaches us that because it was pitch dark in the forest. There was only gypsy lights and the tiger walking. I have a photo of his, and it was really beautiful. But it scared us because there was no one else in the park. He
Yes,
could have easily, come very close. I mean, he was very close.
yes.
So these kind of experiences teaches us that we do not have control on a lot of things,
हाँ.
or where we are otherwise in our everyday schedule, we are in a comfort zone. So
हाँ.
it teaches us that once you step out, it becomes really difficult. So for a lot of things. So this was one experience which was really very good.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Mangi.
Thank you again. So I hope that I can encourage a lot of other women to at least do a small 2 hour kind of excursion in nature. So start with that. So not having bigger goals, but just to experience wherever you are, you can always go to any place, spend a couple of hours on weekend, and come back. So that itself is also in a way it will change, and then slowly बढ़ जाता है. Immediately बड़ा टारगेट रखोगे तो नहीं होगा. So
हाँ.
मैं ये प्लान करती हूँ. So इतना नहीं हो सकता है.
ठीक है, ये एडवाइस मैं भी जरूर लूंगी. दूसरे लेंगे वो बाद
Yes.
में, पहले मैं लूंगी.
Yes.
आई होप आप लोगों को ये इंटरव्यू पसंद आया होगा. अगर आप लोगों को इंटरव्यू पसंद आया है तो प्लीज इसे लाइक कीजिए. जिसके साथ आप शेयर करना चाहते हैं शेयर कीजिए. अगर आपके कुछ भी क्वेश्चंस है तो हमें कमेंट में जरूर पूछिए. हम सबके आंसर्स जरूर करेंगे. इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए क्योंकि इस तरीके के इंटरव्यूज आपको इस चैनल पर हमेशा देखने को मिलते रहेंगे. तब तक के लिए नमस्ते.